This is the Altitude Daily Podcast. Everything you can't miss from today on Altitude Sports Radio. Mosher, Lombardi, and Kane.
Why focus on adding another receiver when the solution is pretty simple? Add a marquee tight end who can handle a lot of that duty for you.
Sure.
Give yourself a tight end, and the receiver room is fine after that. You put a tight end out there that catches a lot of passes, it's basically a receiver anyway. What's the problem?
Well, there's no problem with that. I mean, that's something that should already be one of your priorities anyway. I'm saying let's just go to Chris Godwin. He's just coming off another year where he finishes the season on IR, but he's a very good receiver when he's healthy. He's probably not going to be all that expensive. If I give you a wide receiver room of Sutton, Godwin, Mims, throw a tight end you trust with a viable running back, that's a pretty damn good offense now, right?
Yeah,
that's a pretty damn good and filled out offense. Not to mention the guy you drafted last year that you have some high hopes for potential-wise. Troy Franklin gets another sort of year to incubate and not be like a huge part of the offense right now, or can be a death piece.
Vic, I see what you're saying about tight end. I completely agree with you, because when you got one, especially those upper echelon guys, you're like, wow, I mean, that makes a huge difference, right? But those guys don't grow on trees, man. They're
So
few
what?
and far between.
Half the team, go get one. Find one. Make it happen. I mean, it's how many years since they had a bona fide tight end? It's been a while.
This is what I was going to say. George Payton has a really good record in the draft. Can we all agree that he's got a pretty high hit rate, especially for the lack of high-end draft picks? One spot that he's missed on, though, has been tight end. He's taken two. Who are they? Greg Dulcich in the third. Remember Alberto in the fourth. I think he was there for Alberto. But you've tried to find a guy sort of in the middle of that draft. I think if you find somebody you really like, you go get him. Because this is the fun part. This is the fun part about being a Broncos fan right now, is that you aren't going into the draft saying, should we take a quarterback or not this year? You aren't going in the draft saying, do we need a bona fide edge rusher? Do we need a franchise left tackle? You got a lot of the major pieces set already. Go find the fun stuff now. Go find the stuff that's like an extra, take you over the top kind of piece. That's what's fun about this offseason.
Okay, so you're saying you've shopped for the eggs and the bread and the cheese, and now you're looking for
fill out the spice rack.
Okay. Now you're going for the Chips Ahoy, right? You're down the Chips Ahoy aisle. Is that what you're looking for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're looking for the sides, not the entree.
The Altitude Daily. The morning sprint.
I expected when we stood up there in March, hey, maybe by April or May we'll have a deal. My first week, I flew to Philadelphia, sat down with Comcast and said, how do we get this going in the right direction? And even then, I would have thought July, August, September. So, look, I view today as a success. I view the past year as a failure. Every game that tipped off that people couldn't watch Nikola Jokic and Nathan McKinnon and Cale McCarr that I didn't deliver, that we didn't deliver, we failed our fans. Yeah. Over the 5.5 years, we failed our fans. So while I'm extremely excited about what we did today, proud's not the right word. This should be table stakes, for our fans in Denver to be able to watch our teams. And I don't want to do a victory lap. I wanted to say, I'm excited we did this. I'm excited to move forward. But this is what our fans, our players, and coaches deserved. And I told this story upstairs, and it rang true. One of my first weeks on the job was the week after Aaron Gordon came out and said he thought Jamal Murray didn't make the All-Star team because our games weren't on TV locally. Mm-hmm. If you work for a team, if you're in management, if you're any of us, that's a dagger. Yeah. You can live with the people at the grocery store. It pains you, it goes through, but your players to think that they're not living up to their potential, getting opportunities because we didn't deliver for them, that really hurt. Mm-hmm. And I think, that quote has been basically on my desk and on my phone all year. And, I'm just glad we can look our players credibly in the eye and our coaches today and know that their hard work's not going to go unnoticed. And the same for the Altitude staff. I know Vic, has taken so many arrows over the past few years and everybody else. And, look, our job is to protect our players, our coaches, our staff, our Altitude folks, everybody here at the arena to make sure that they can do their job the best way. And today we remove one of those barriers and, let's go beat the Canucks and go beat the Pelicans and hope that, we can continue to do this the right way.
The morning sprint.
I want a legit threat. I want a legit skill position player in orange and blue. And you haven't had that. The last time that I had that here in Denver was Demaryius Thomas. It has been too damn long since you have had a true bona fide star there. And even though Cooper Kupp is on the back half of his career and he hasn't been healthy, if he is healthy, he is one of, without a doubt, the top 5 receivers in the game of football. I want that here. And I'm willing to try and give up a few assets to help the most important asset in the franchise right now, which is not Nick Bonito, is not Jonathan Cooper, it's Bo freaking Nix. Give him the tools to succeed. You don't have it right now around him. You don't. You have complementary pieces, but you don't have the actual go-to hammer that he needs to throw the football to. Take a chance. Help your quarterback out.
The Altitude Daily. Columbus, Hastings, and DMAC.
It was a headline on ESPN.com today.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. It was one of the lead stories on ESPN.com that you're not in the mix of getting traded.
Okay.
So what's this process been like for you? And part of it is just the results of your contract is such that it could happen, whereas some of the other guys is not. I'm curious how it's been for you and what your mindset's been like through this process.
We talk about faith a lot, and when you have faith in something bigger than you I've tried to develop the attitude of control what you can control, and I think I feel very blessed to be here. I feel very grateful that the Nuggets took a chance on me, so it would never be a thing where, like I said yesterday, if they decided to move on from me, where I would be butthurt or have hard feelings. I think that we have a good team now. We have guys that over the years have developed a continuity. Me and Joker have our little two-man thing going on.
Yeah.
Jamal and Joker do. Joker and Aaron do. So we all fit in a specific way, but also there's a lot of great players in the NBA, and we want to win at a high level. And I think we've had spurts this season where we play really well, and then spurts where we could have played better. But it's not something that I stress about because it's not in my control. And either way, I'm grateful, and either way, I just know it's the direction that my life is supposed to take. So I'm happy to be here. I want to be a Nugget as long as I can be. But if it ever gets to the point where they decide to move on from me, it's all, I have so much respect and gratitude for everyone here.
Well, it's a very healthy way to look at it. So good for you.
Yeah.
Michael, the game has changed so much with the amount of three-pointers that are shot, but you guys as a team don't necessarily play the same way as everybody else.
Yeah.
You shoot them, and you're certainly relied on them for them. I am curious, when you go into a game, do you ever have a certain amount of three-pointers that you try to shoot, or is it just you take it when it's there?
That's a good question. The coaches have a number. They keep telling me try to get up 10 threes.
Okay. 10 threes, okay.
Not Coach Malone, not some of that, but all the developmental coaches, they're like, man, hunt threes, try
That's
to get
a
up
number.
10.
Yeah, okay.
Try to get up 10, but that very rarely happens. I think that teams, the way that they play me, it just depends. Like some teams, when they decide to double team Joker, I'll get a lot of swing threes, some open threes. But then when we play a team like Minnesota where they're playing Joker one-on-one with Rudy Gobert, it's a lot harder for me to find the three-point line. So
because then they get physical with you.
Yeah, they just stay
you.
glued to
Yeah.
me. They're not shrinking off of me. They're not bringing my man in for the low man. So there's no just open looks. So I got to figure out ways to really. I think I need to start reading the game early, see how the team is defending me, see how they're defending Joker, see how they're defending our team, and immediately adjust and have different ways of countering that is somewhere I could improve. But I don't go into the game trying to look just for threes. I think I find more of a rhythm when I'm getting to the rim, getting some easy ones, getting to the foul line a little bit. So
The Altitude Daily. Kretman and Lindahl.
So should the Nuggets be thinking about being in the Kevin Durant business? This is a team that needs shooting. We go back to that incredible, wasn't it game 2 where Jokic and the Suns, Booker and Durant, everybody just went shot for shot. Jokic was the only one just hitting like he was on fire. But Durant showed you, I still can throw up a nice number for you when needed.
Andy, you don't got to sell me on Kevin Durant. I'm interested. Okay, you've tickled my buying bone, my friend. Here's a part. Well,
let's dream, and then you can get real. How about that?
Yeah, no, let's dream.
It will cost you MPJ.
It'll cost you
plenty of people.
Anything that's not nailed down, okay? Because according to reports, when Golden State called Phoenix, they were told an exorbitant asking price was the phrase that was printed in The Athletic. Exorbitant. I don't know if the Nuggets have exorbitant.
No, they don't. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, this would be MPJ and Zeke to make the money work, and Christian Brown, and just keep putting names on the list, okay?
Yeah.
Basically, like, not Jokic, obviously, and then you can't trade Jamal and AG. So
which makes this tough.
Yeah, which makes this tough. Let's just for a moment allow ourselves to live in a world where Kevin Durant and Nikola Jokic shared the floor together.
Boy, this is a really hard dream to even dream looking at these numbers. I don't even know how you get there. Yeah, you're not kidding. Just so we know, because I want you to finish your point. I do.
Yeah.
But Kevin Durant's at $49 million. Michael Porter's only taking about $36 million of that off the books for you.
Yeah, it's again the
you
money.
got about another $15 million to find, and that's just salaries working.
You don't have draft picks.
You
really.
got nothing. Yeah. You don't have credit.
But allow yourself to think.
But let's just, yes.
Okay. Kevin Durant and Nikola Jokic on the floor together, all right? I don't know if it's humanly possible for me to be able to devise a more perfect player to share a basketball court with Nikola Jokic. Kevin Durant is he's it's funny because, like, Steph Curry is the best three-point shooter of our lifetime. He's the greatest three-point shooter to ever live. Kevin Durant's the best shooter of our lifetime. It's so funny too, because like Michael Porter Jr., the hope for him is that he can be like a C-level Kevin Durant. You know, C is in the grade, not C is in on the shores of the United States. But he shoots over everybody. He makes everything. Also defensively, he's an excellent shot blocker when he's engaged. Obviously, he's older. He can't bring it on that end of the court every single time. But he's as good an offensive basketball player that we've ever seen in our lifetime. Those seasons in gold. Again, I don't have to sell anybody on Kevin Durant. He's one of the greatest basketball players to have ever lived. But God, watching him with Jokic would just be gorgeous. They have no chance of being able to make it happen, but you better believe you should make that phone call. Who knows? Maybe Matt Ishbia, while sitting there pissed off about the Suns losing to Denver in 6 a couple of years ago, was thinking to himself, oh, if only one day I could have Michael Porter Jr. You never know who a guy's just going to love.